Alright people, so now we're going to go over some Sgraffito and how to use it, and then a little bit more of brush choice. Alright, so I'm taking my paintbrush, and I'm actually going to do my, basically, guardrail, and I'm going to have to do it pretty quickly, because it requires it has to be wet, so Sgraffito has to be wet when you go to paint. So I'm getting my paints together over here, my little paint mixing. You always want to mix more than what you think you need, not by a lot, just by a little bit. So I have a little bit here. Make it a slightly different color than what I have. And now I know that it's way too thick, this paintbrush, to go back here. So this is when I'm finally going to use my detail brush. I'm going to take this and I'm going to paint on top of it. And I know it's going to curve this way. Alright, I got apparently a chunk of paint in this. Alright, so now before I go any further, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do that Sgraffito texture. Alright, so as things are farther away, they get smaller. As they get closer up, they get larger, so I'm going to have to start to put them farther and farther away, those lines. Alright, so then I'm going to keep bringing it. And then when the line gets basically smaller than what I need to change brushes. And see how my distance is slowly getting wider between these, so you guys can focus a little bit better. And refocus here. Alright, so see how these lines were getting a little bit further apart. I can even use the back of this paintbrush to kind of draw the line of the top of the guardrail. Top of it back here. And then again up here. Okay, so now changing over to my wider brush, making my color slightly different. I'm mixing again over here. I know you guys can't see because it's off to the side. Okay, now I'm going to take it and I'm going to paint over. Now I'm finally going to paint over this grass over here, this tree. Alright, see how I had to kind of go back and forth? It's not good because it means my paint isn't going to be wet enough. Okay, so drawing this at the end, place it around here, and then I'm going to scratch away a lot of this. And the paint's starting to dry. Alright, but there's some basic Sgraffito usage. Make sure that everything you need is dry and that the back of your paintbrush is clean before you start to use it again. Alright, and then I'm going to use just a very dry brush to do these lines. Make sure I get all the water out. And then I'm not going to use straight up yellow because it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. And most of the time those lines aren't straight yellow. Alright. And I'm just kind of hinting at them. So I kind of muted them a little bit with a little bit of black. And if I want, I can go back. And then as I start to get farther and farther away, I'm going to barely be able to see them. And just a little hint at them. Okay, so my picture is, for the most part, done now. What I can do is I can take my skinny brush, and if I want to add any more highlights to something, I can do that now. I can take this, maybe I want to lighten this area up, I can do that. I can just kind of add to places by, again, using that dabbing technique. Alright. Okay, so that's what's going on. This is pretty much done. If you have more details that are in the foreground up here, you can again start to take some of that sponge technique, start to sponge on top so it has more texture. And right on top of that, I can do some of that sponge technique over here, kind of have a break in the texture to go. But, alright guys, that's pretty much your finished product.